Hello, friends, colleagues, clients, and trespassers. Welcome to Coach2Coach, the show where the world of coaching opens up to you, our listeners. I'm Laurie Schlaff, executive communication coach over too many decades. Coach2Coach aims to inform, teach, entertain, provoke, amuse, and invite you to engage, all in a 15-minute time period, more or less. Super coaches can do it all. So each show features a coach supreme, someone who's changing the world one coachee, one client at a time. And here we go, Coach2Coach to you. Our coach of the day is the amazing leadership coach, Gretchen Reid. She's the founder and CEO of Integrated Growth. Gretchen is known for helping leaders and their organizations change and grow in profound ways. Our topic today is talking about transformation. Before we dive into that very simple topic, I have to ask Gretchen, where in the world are you? And tell us about this tour. I've never heard of a coach on tour. I love it.
Oh, my goodness, it's so wonderful. Yes, I'm driving across the country from Colorado all the way over to Vermont. And currently we are in North Carolina, a quick little stop over to see my sister-in-law and her husband. And so that's where we are. And a funny little story I have to tell you as to why I'm sitting here in my sweatshirt is we had some brake issues the other day. And so my husband took the van over to the shop this morning and took all my clothing with it.
Of course. Oh my God, you're running after the van. I need to go. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, it adds to a fun and casual approach, which we like.
It does.
Especially when we talk about such little things like transformation. Now, seriously, getting into things. So transformation absolutely is a big goal. And I know you and my kind of coaching sort of thinks about it differently, which is great because this is all about conversation. So, Gretchen, in your world of coaching, what is transformation? And how do you go about it? How do you go about helping clients?
Right. Well, I guess first thing is when you think of any organization you can think of right now or industry you can think of, they're going through transformation, aren't they? I mean, you can not even think of one organization, certainly any of my clients, that aren't going through some level of transformation, whether it's healthcare, whether it's education, whether it's a town, ski industry, whatever it might be. And so when we think about transformation, it really is about an organization or an individual changing the way in which they interact in the world.
Wow.
Right? Like their form in some way has changed, but there's so much more to it.
Wow. I love it. We can have that sink in. And in my world, which you know is very behavioral, the way that they speak to each other, or how they sound and how they come across non-verbally and in their interaction skills changes. And I think the combination of sort of the big picture of the organization as well as each individual working on themselves is ideal. So I'm very interested in sort of the obstacles. So in your work, when you are helping, and you can fill in the blank, individuals, teams undergo big change, what are some of the challenges that you face?
Well, I'd say the biggest challenge is the fact that any organization, regardless how large or how small it is made up of people.
Yeah.
And when we think of transformation, often we think of that external kind of how somebody is showing up in the world or how the organization is functioning. But when it comes to transformation, it really is a deeper conversation. It's a deeper topic because when we think about the fact that every organization or every team is made up of people, 95% of our decisions and our behaviors come from our subconscious. And yet we attempt to transform organizations and transform teams on a very conscious level. And if that's true, yes, you're going to be able to make change, but it's going to be small ripples in a large pond when only looked at from the conscious level of strategic planning and organizational change.
Gosh, wow, a lot to absorb here. So, are you saying that as a coach, if it's 95% subconscious, do you somehow have the ability, Ms. Freud, to tap
Yes.
into that?
Absolutely. That's what I do with every single, again, it's what am I doing is I'm working with leaders in an organization. I'm working with individuals first. I'm working with that CEO, that C-level suite. And as we're going through our coaching, in fact, it was kind of funny. One of my clients just the other day, he said, even when I'm talking about a spreadsheet, you're asking how I feel about the spreadsheet.
That's funny. That's funny.
Right? Because our change comes from first our thinking that creates a particular feeling and physical sensation and emotional state, which then creates the behavior and the decision making.
Wow, I love it. I love it. So I was also thinking in the field of communication coaching, and I love alliteration. So I was thinking like the obstacles are motivation to change. Uh, Second, just the mind. I mean, we are wired certain ways, and then mindset.
Right.
Mindset. Do I trust it? Am I open? Am I open to change? So
Right.
I don't know. What are your thoughts about those
Yeah.
ingredients?
Yeah, in fact, just this morning I texted with one of my clients who was thanking me for some of the work that I've been doing with him. And I said back to him that the only way I can do the work that I am meant to do here in the world is if I have clients like him, meaning that he's open to it. I have tried working with clients who are not ready and not open, don't have that mindset and that willingness to go deep. And we're going to make small changes. We're not going to make transformational changes like they're needing for themselves and their organizations.
Yeah. And it seems like that in a way applies and to our listeners, the whole idea of people sometimes say being coachable. And there's no
Yes.
wrong or right. It's okay to not be ready for change. But in order
Mhm.
for coaches like us to be helpful, the mindset and readiness really helps. Now I'd like to get into a very fulfilling part of our LinkedIn Live, which is the demo part. And you asked me to think about something. So go ahead and we'll have a brief demo of the kind of thing Coach Gretchen Reid works on.
Okay, so good. So, Laurie, think about one thing in your life or your business that you would like to change or transform.
Well, it's a lifelong challenge. I feel like I'm mentally organized, but physically, my papers, my things, it's a lifelong struggle. I really want to I feel that getting better at that will help me in business and also my well-being.
Okay, so think about the papers and the things that you talk about. And what I just pictured was that perhaps what you're looking for is more organization in those things. Maybe they're scattered. Okay, so picture them scattered. Picture them the way they've always been. And bring that image into your psyche, into your body, literally. And where in your body do you feel this disorganization? Where does it go in your body?
I think my stomach.
And what is there physically in your stomach? How large is it? Where is it specifically?
It's in my center, and it's like almost it's there, but it's not uncomfortable. In other words, okay, I'm being my own analyst. It's a little too
Yeah.
comfortable. Um,
Fun. Okay. So it's in that center of your belly area. It's not uncomfortable. It's almost too comfortable. And if I was to ask you, is it round? Is it square? Is it triangular? Is it soft? Is it
it's first when you asked, it was round, and then it was sort of morphing into like whatever creepy papers coming out of the circle.
I love it. That's great. Okay. So breathing into that and put your hands, literally go ahead and put your hands right where that sensation is and ask it what's the emotion? What's the emotion that is there?
I'm going to say now, maybe because of readiness, I'm going to say a certain peacefulness.
Okay. So in a way, I wonder, do you really want this to change?
Hmm.
It feels comfortable to you. It feels peaceful to you. Bring your attention to the picture of your papers and your things very well
Oh,
organized right now in the way that you would like them. Okay. So now you're going to shift the image in your mind to what you want rather than what's always been.
right.
And as you think about that, bring your attention into your body. And now, where does that physical sensation go and what
Much more up
changes?
in my head. I feel like my posture's a little better.
Mm.
It's funny. I thought you were going to say maybe I'm ready for change, and I have gotten better, to tell you the truth. But
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, a certain level-headedness, like it's up in my head, like a certain pride.
Okay. So if the first was in your belly, now it's up in your head, there's this distance between the two, right? This is mind
Yeah, I
body
love it.
coaching that we're doing. It is a subconscious
I love it.
level of coaching. And so to connect the two, there's some belief or some thought that needs to change, right? So, and we may not
Yeah,
have enough
yeah.
time right here, right now to do it, but the example is there's some belief or thought that's keeping you in the state that you're in right now, the belly part. And there's a different belief or thought that will allow you to have this other sense. And when you have that kind of how you described it in your head and almost like more confident and centered is what I got. Once you get feeling that way, behaving from that place, then the behavior of organizing your papers and your things will naturally come without much effort. Right? So it's not necessarily a do, be, have. It's more of a be, do, have. So you be a certain way, therefore you do things differently, and you have the organized office.
Well, I love it. It's a lot to absorb, and I I feel like you're pushing me even further. Have gotten better. Um, and as we shift a little into something more behavioral, I think some of it, does this make sense, when I see things nicer, arranged nicer, and I can grab a folder and I know where it is, etc. um,
Mhm.
it gives me a feeling of success, and that does feed on itself.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. So that's a really good point, Laurie, is the negative can feed on itself or the positive can feed on itself. And that's that subconscious level of whether you're going to be successful in this desired transformation or whether you're going to remain stuck.
Wow. I love it. And I also like the risks you take with your clients who may not have done things like this before.
Yes. Yes. So I tap into my own intuition. I can typically tell whether a client is ready to go there or not. And so I'll meet them where they are. If they're very analytical, I'll stay on that analytical how-tos for a little
Yeah.
bit. Then when they are ready, or when I sense that they're ready, I will bring them into their body. I will bring them into their subconscious, because again, when 95% of our decisions and our behaviors are stemming from our subconscious, we need to be able to access that and shift something deeper. Sometimes we don't even know that it's shifted, but we start to notice a different behavior.
Well, you're making me think that since 90% of the clients I work with are very excited about the work, there is some shift maybe that has occurred even before they meet me.
That's exactly right. Yes. And again, that shift it's not a conscious shift, but they already start to see themselves behaving differently, speaking differently, carrying themselves differently, and therefore other people around them are also going to feel that shift. Maybe they don't recognize it as such, but they're going to feel it, they're picking up on it, and they're starting to change. And I think that's the other thing about organizational transformation, is it starts with one individual shifting and another and another and another. Really, once you get 7%, only 7% of people changing the way they are behaving in an organization, the rest of the organization subconsciously changes along with them.
Wow, I could talk forever about this. Jeez.
Mhm.
Okay, can I do a little mini transformation exercise with you?
Of course,
Okay.
please.
So, as you know, my work is more behavioral. I get someone on a Monday who has something that they are going to be showing up at a meeting. It could be a motivational meeting, or it could be a board meeting. They don't call it a board meeting for nothing. Ha ha ha. Speech joke.
Ha ha ha.
And hopefully, then I get a text that they're better than they ever were. So, my question to you is, if you think of a recent gig, what's in, so as brief as possible because of our time, what's something you're very proud of in how you came across, and what's one thing you would want to continue to think about or change?
Good. Okay, I was with a large organization that provides hospitality to national parks, and I was called in to do a all hands meeting, a facilitation for their managers. And one of the exercises that I did, which in the past I probably would have hesitated to do just because of my own space in my own journey with my work, is through my own transformation, I have become more confident in talking about this kind of the part of the coaching that is unseen, right? Again, this subconscious part of the coaching. And so, with an audience of 80 people, I talked about the power of visualization and drawing, even. And I had them up on a large side wall. Everybody got up and drew their future
Wow.
state. and then felt into, right? So really working this, felt into what does that future state feel like? And then got them into exercises around what do they need to do in order to bring that future state into reality. That's something I would not have done in the past. I wouldn't have wanted to take that risk because it's so different. Some people would call it, oh, that's a little, too creative or too touchy-feely. But man, the power of that has allowed them to go into this spring and soon to be summer season with more power and capability than ever before.
I'm wondering, because we know journaling always helps with reflection. I wonder if this little tiny exercise, reflecting out loud, will sort of reinforce that leap.
It does. It does reinforce. Yeah, absolutely. Another thing that I do for myself and with clients, you brought up the point about journaling, is instead of journaling like normal as we think about journaling, it is more of what I call a vision journal. And so again, the subconscious is going to attach to what it is that you're telling yourself, right? Like if you say, this is where we're going, this is what we're doing, and I know what it feels like to be successful in that space, your subconscious will get on board and say, okay, and start creating it for you. If, on the other hand, you're saying, well, I can't really do that. I don't think I can do that. How would that ever work? Your subconscious says, okay, fine, I'll keep you here. And so the vision journaling is where I, on the right side of the page, way out into the future, sometimes 5 years out into the future, I write in present tense language what is happening in my business, what is happening in my life. And then when I actually get to that place in real time, I write on the left side of the page what actually happened. And it is phenomenal how many times the pages actually mirror each other.
I love it. And I'm sure our listeners can benefit from doing that. So do it, everybody. So this was amazing. I think we had a pretty deep conversation for a short time. Is there a takeaway, a quote, a song lyric, a saying that you like, you want to leave our listeners with?
Oh gosh. I think the biggest thing to realize with this kind of transformation is patience is a virtue, right? Patience is what's going to be required because the shift happens, but then sometimes the observable change is a little bit delayed.
Interesting.
And so be patient and observe.
Right. And I think that's where your work and my maybe more behavioral stuff really are a beautiful partnership. Great.
Mm-hmm.
So Gretchen, this was really amazing. And we'll put your information, when we post it, we'll put your information so people can be in touch with you. So I guess my takeaway would be putting everything together, visualize what you want for yourself, what you see for yourself. And then from a behavior point of view, let others see who you want to be. That's going to end up being pretty important. And continuing with hopefully the help of helpful coaches, moving a bit outside your coaching zone, your comfort zone, moving outside your comfort zone. Yeah.
Well, actually, it's kind of funny, your coaching zone, because as your comfort zone,
I know, that was a good slip.
That's beautiful.
That was a good slip.
It was a good slip. As your comfort zone changes, your coaching zone changes. There's your quote.
I love it. So keep on coaching yourself and keep on coaching everybody. Bye for now. Thank you, Gretchen.